So maybe you're just starting to use Scrum, or maybe you're just thinking about dipping your toes in the water of agility, and you're not quite sure what you need in place before you start your first sprint. And there's a lot of contradictory information out there. So forget the dogma, put away your microscope. You don't need a forensic understanding of the Scrum Guide. If you want to start sprinting, you just need these 5 things in place. 1, you need a complex problem to solve. 2, you need a Scrum team to do the work. 3, you need an agreed sprint length. 4, you need enough work to fill your first sprint. And 5, my personal recommendation is that you need to understand what done means for the team. So let's break that down. 1, a complex problem. Scrum is designed to help teams solve complex problems. So if you're doing something simple and predictable and repeatable, then Scrum probably won't add much value. But if what you're doing is sales or marketing or building hardware or software or research or anything where there's discovery and intangibles and your customers don't quite know what they want, or you don't quite understand the technology that you're using, then Scrum can help you make better decisions about what to do and how to do it. 2, a Scrum team. You need a small team of people to do the work. Now, that often requires some reorganization. You might need to move people around because Scrum is based around small cross-functional teams. That means teams with all of the skills required to get the work done or deliver value. And that team also needs a product owner, someone with a vision for what it is you're trying to get done, someone who can translate that vision into a distinct product goal and then break that down into work items that the team can get done within a sprint. And you need a Scrum Master to facilitate events, to help remove impediments, and to help the organization understand how to get the most out of Scrum. My personal opinion, the Scrum Master doesn't need to be a full-time role. A lot of organizations have started Scrum with a part-time Scrum Master who's also doing work on the Scrum team, and they've done just fine. Don't choose to not start Scrum because you don't have a full-time Scrum Master. And 3, sprint length. You need to agree a sprint length of a month or less, long enough for the team to deliver something of value, and short enough that the stakeholders can give feedback and respond to change. Now, my personal preference is for shorter sprints because they limit risk and they allow your team to be more agile. And 4, you need enough work for one sprint. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need a complete blueprint. You don't need a complete design for the product or whatever it is that you're trying to deliver. You just need a product goal and enough work for one sprint to move you towards that goal. And 5, an understanding or a definition of done. I think your product owner should understand what done means for the team, because if you don't have an explicit definition of done, that means you've got an implicit definition of done. And that means that everyone might have a different understanding of what they can achieve within the sprint. But at the very least, you can define your definition of done when you start planning that first sprint. That's it. That's all that you need to start your first sprint with Scrum. Don't overthink it. Remember, Scrum teams learn by doing, not by talking about doing. Scrum is based on the simple idea that we learn by starting complex work and then raising transparency on our progress and our problems, and then frequently inspecting and adapting. Try Scrum as it is and see if it helps your teams deliver more value and get more stuff done.